Welcome, friends. This is A Course in Miracles, Palm Beach Study Group. Today we're on page 320 in the book and the text. It's chapter 15, section 8, the only real relationship. The holy instant does not replace the need for learning. For the Holy Spirit must not leave you as your teacher until the holy instant has extended far beyond time. For a teaching assistant such as his, he must use everything in this world for your release. He must side with every sign or token of your willingness to learn of him what the truth must be. He is swift to utilize whatever you offer him on behalf of this. His concern and care for you are limitless. In the face of your fear of forgiveness, which he perceives as clearly as he knows forgiveness is release, he will teach you to remember that forgiveness is not loss, but your salvation. And that in complete forgiveness, in which you recognize that there is nothing to forgive, you are absolved completely. There's a key here in this first paragraph about forgiveness. Complete forgiveness is recognizing that there is nothing to forgive. In other words, the release of guilt. There's nothing to forgive because none of it really happened. All of the things that you may feel guilt about are things occurring in the ego world. The ego world is an illusion. It's a dream. It's not really there. When you realize that and release yourself from that dream, release yourself from that guilt, you will find complete forgiveness in the realization that there's nothing to forgive. You work out of duality by going into oneness. Paragraph 2. Hear him gladly and learn of him that you have need of no special relationships at all. You but seek in them what you have thrown away, and through them you will never learn the value of what you have cast aside, but still desire with all your heart. Let us join together in making the holy instant all that there is, by desiring that it be all that there is. God's Son has such great need of your willingness to strive for this, that you cannot conceive of need so great. Behold, the only need that God and his Son share and will to meet together. You are not alone in this. The will of your creations calls to you to share your will with them. Turn then in peace from guilt to God and them. So in paragraph, in sentence 2, You but seek in them what you have thrown away. What have you thrown away? You've thrown away your remembrance that you are a spiritual being. You've also thrown away the remembrance that everybody else is a spiritual being. You've thrown away your remembrance that there's only one of us and that we are one with the Father. That's what we have thrown away. So we have no need of special relationships because there's only one relationship. Us, God, everyone else, it's all one. So sentence 4 says, let us join together in making the holy instant all that there is, the eternal now, the one and only now, the holy instant, because that is all that there is. Sentence 9, turn then in peace from guilt to God and them, your brothers. Any questions, comments? Paragraph 3. Relate only with what you will never, relate only with what will never leave you and what you can never leave. The loneliness of God's Son is the loneliness of his Father. Refuse not the awareness of your completion and seek not to restore it to yourself. Fear not to give redemption over to your Redeemer's love. He will not fail you, for he comes from one who cannot fail. Accept your sense of failure as nothing more than a mistake in who you are. For the holy host of God is beyond failure, and nothing that he wills can be denied. You are forever in a relationship so holy that it calls to everyone to escape from loneliness and join you in your love. And where you are, must everyone seek and find you there. Again, it's just repeating what's been said in different words from a different point of view. But we cannot fail. Don't get discouraged. The Course holds out the promise that we will indeed find the salvation, the total forgiveness, the holy instant, the unification, the end of the nightmare dream of the ego. It's all there, and it just needs for us to accept it and remember what we are. Any questions, comments? Paragraph 4. Think but an instant on this. God gave the sonship to you to ensure your perfect creation. This was his gift. For as he withheld himself not from you, he withheld not his creation. Nothing that ever was created but is yours. Your relationships are with the universe. And this universe, being of God, is far beyond the petty sum of all the separate bodies you perceive. For all its parts are joined in God through Christ, where they become like to their Father. Christ knows of no separation from his Father, who is his one relationship, in which he gives as his Father gives to him. The Course has this language, this flavor of using the not. He withheld himself not from you. He withheld not his creation. But don't let that language trip you up. Just, in other words, he is not withheld from you, and you are not withheld from his creation, because he is with you always, and you are with him always, and we are one with him and one with one another always. And the name for that unity of all of us together is the Christ. That's the Christ is the Son of God, which is all of us together in the oneness. Christ knows of no separation from his Father, says sentence 7. So we are never separate from our Father. Paragraph 5. The Holy Spirit is God's attempt to free you of what he does not understand. And because of the source of the attempt, it will succeed. The Holy Spirit asks you to respond as God does, for he would teach you what you do not understand. God would respond to every need, whatever form it takes. And so he keeps this channel open to receive his communication to you and yours to him. God does not understand your problem in communication, for he does not share it with you. It is only you who believe that it is understandable. The Holy Spirit knows that it is not understandable, and yet he understands it because you made it. Well, they're talking about the relationship with the ego. So when it says in the first sentence, the Holy Spirit is God's attempt to free you of what he does not understand. What he does not understand is the ego and the ego thinking. And because it comes from God, it will succeed. And when he teaches you not to understand, that means not to understand the ego. Again, it's said in the negative, but you have to understand it in the positive. God responds to every need, whatever form it takes. And he keeps this channel open. That's the Holy Spirit. God keeps the Holy Spirit open to receive his communication to you and yours to him. Remember last time we spoke about communication. God does not understand your problem in communication. That's the ego side of it. And God can understand the ego because the ego doesn't exist. It's not real. It's a dream, and it has no meaning to God. And then it continues by saying, for he does not share it with you. God does not share the ego reality, the ego unreality, the ego dream with you. Any comments, questions? Paragraph 6. In the Holy Spirit alone lies the awareness of what God cannot know and what you do not understand. It is his holy function to accept them both, and by removing every element of disagreement, to join them into one. He will do this because it is his function. Leave then what seems to you to be impossible to him who knows it must be possible because it is the will of God. And let him whose teaching is only of God teach you the only meaning of relationships. For God created the only relationship that has meaning, and that is his relationship with you. So the Holy Spirit alone is aware of the ego and of God, because the Holy Spirit is the bridge between the ego mind and the spirit mind within our minds. And it is his function to accept them both. He understands, he knows, and he understands, but he's removing every element of ego disagreement so that you can join and be one with your spiritual self. This is his function. That's why the Holy Spirit exists, to be that go-between, to understand both worlds and bring you from the ego world into the spirit world. And so what it's saying is, sentence 5, let him teach you the only meaning of relationship, and that is your relationship with God. That is the only relationship. So we need to turn to the Holy Spirit within ourselves for the understanding, for the help, for the knowledge, for the wisdom, for the peace that the Holy Spirit can bring to us while we're living in this ego dream, to help us transition out of it. That's his function. Allow him to do that. Turn to Holy Spirit and ask him for his help, for his guidance. Turn everything over to the Holy Spirit and just allow that process to work, and be patient with it. We have reached the end of our reading for today. Are there any questions, comments? Let us go into silence then, and we'll stop our recording for today.